So, what exactly is vaping? Vaping is basically just an alternative to, smoking cigarettes. The way we vape is simply by taking resistance wire, applying power to it to heat it up, and producing a vapor. So normally what is in the liquid is a range of, four main ingredients. We have propylene glycol, or PG. We have vegetable glycerin, or VG. We also have nicotine, which is either suspended in VG or PG. And then we have the flavoring itself. There are in fact different levels of nicotine. So if you take a look at this list right here, you can see the available levels of nicotine that we offer. So if you take a look at 24 milligrams and 18 milligrams first, that's going to be equivalent to, let's say, a pack-a-day smoker smoking Marlboro Reds or even like Camel full flavors. We also have 12 milligrams and 6 milligrams, which is equivalent to your Marlboro lights and ultralights. Also, when you're going down to 0 and 3, it's the same kind of thing, but also your device does have a factor. So what I have in front of me is just a broad spectrum of the devices that we offer. So right here is just a simple starter kit. This is what you're going to find, especially when you're first starting, vaping. Next is the Ego One, which is a new device, but we offer it just because it's a well-rounded device for everyone. And then right here we actually have a high-powered box mod capable of pushing 120 watts, which is kind of a big deal. So when I was saying the nicotine does matter, the more powerful device you have, the less nicotine you can actually use and get the same result. So if you were to use 24 in this, and then go from 24 milligrams in this to this device, you would have a really, really bad time. Reason being is this device just produces a lot more vapor at once, which means you absorb a lot more nicotine at once. So the ratios are also another factor, when buying e-liquid. So I'm just going to pull off a bottle from our shelf and just show you what's going on. So you can see this is one of our bottles, e-liquid by DTV Alien Throat Punch. And right here we actually list the nicotine content and the ratio. So you can see here it says 30-70, and what that basically means is there is 30% propylene glycol to 70% vegetable glycerin. So back to the two main components, PG and VG. VG is going to give you a really nice, voluminous cloud. It's going to be very easy on the throat, and PG is quite the opposite. It's going to give you a nice throat hit, but at the same time, it's going to give you a lot more flavor as well. So, we go back to the three devices. The higher VG levels, or the thicker stuff that's going to be smoother, is more geared towards the higher powered box mods, just because they are producing a lot more vapor. We usually recommend a 50-50 or even a higher PG blend, the smaller the device you actually own. So every electronic cigarette, whether big or small, has three main components. You have your battery, which on your basic model is this whole bottom part with the button attached. If you pull it off of the bigger mod, you could see that the batteries are removable, and they're quite big compared to your normal AA or AAA battery. I'll go into detail on why that is. So your next component would be your heating coil. So every single vape needs three components, like I said. You got your battery, you got your coil, and you need your reservoir to hold your actual liquid. So this right here is the coil for the basic atomizer. All of the good stuff is actually in here, where these little two brushes, or what we like to call wicks, are. And I can just show you a nice expanded version of what's going on in there. So if you look right here, you can actually see, the coil units there, and you actually have your wicking hanging down into what we call a deck. So moving on to the third step, your reservoir. You need somewhere to actually hold your juice in the meantime, between vapes. So right here, you just fill it up from the bottom. You don't want to get it too high up in here or else it'll get in your mouth. So, there is a little fill line that will guide you. Now, it is a little trickier with the high-powered vapes just because there's not a lot of room to actually hold the liquid. So like I was saying, on the deck, there's what's known as a drip well. It's kind of hard to see in this unit, but there's a nice little, reservoir sitting down there where the liquid actually collects. You can vape here! And you can vape here! You can even vape here! And even here. You wouldn't want to, but you can. And even oh, wait. Yeah, you just got to be careful, where you're vaping though. The golden rule is, only vape where you're allowed to smoke. And a side note, like I said, the golden rule is vape anywhere you smoke, but, feel free to ask certain businesses. I'm sure they'll let you. So, most people start off on, your basic setup, or what is known as an ego style pen, just because it's a very small device, there's not a lot that can go wrong with these, so, it's just a very good choice to start off. The golden rule is, whatever fits you best. I've seen some people start off with, one of the higher power devices just because it fit their needs, to what they wanted. Same with even the Ego one. It's got middle of the road features. You can change your airflow, which will increase or decrease your vapor. But it also has some of the very comforting features like, the removable coils so you don't have to rebuild, fillable tanks so you don't have to worry about re-dripping throughout the day, and also the fact that the battery, charges without having to take the unit apart really makes it, a good choice for absolutely anyone. So, like I said, it all depends on what you're looking for in terms of vaping. So, depending on if you want to quit smoking cigarettes or just try something new, I'm sure vaping will have a spot for you.
About 8 months ago, I came into downtown Vapes and I actually asked for the best thing that they had. I was sold an IPv3 and I haven't touched a cigarette since then.
I started off on a Vivi Nova on a 900 milliamp hour pen style battery. It wasn't much, but it was all I had.
I started out with the Smoke MX50 box with a Dark Horse RDA and an 18650 battery, and I haven't smoked in 10 months.
Oh. Yeah, so I've been off cigarettes for almost a year now. I was about a pack a day smoker. I started off on a pen style vape that my friend had given me. He started vaping, said it was the best way to quit cigarettes, so I tried it. Moved on to a mech mod, moved on to a box mod, and just kept upgrading and haven't smoked a cigarette since.
I started off with a God box, 180 watt with a Doge top. I also started smoking 30 nicotine, but I went from smoking 3.5 packs to 3 packs a day to 0 packs as soon as I got mine. And I've been smoke free for 19 months.